The time is exactly 9:46 a.m. South African time. We cross over to Afghanistan and we'll be talking with a journalist based there, Hadis Pardes, about a very worrying situation. It is an allegation that women are being prohibited from attending Afghanistani universities. Hadis Pardes, Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for talking with us. Now, we understand that Afghanistan's Taliban run higher education ministry has said that female students would not be allowed access to the country's universities until further notice. Does this come as a shock to the people in Afghanistan, very especially, women and girls in the family that have already started their semester and now being told that they won't be allowed to attend any longer?
Yes, look, the announcement from the Taliban, the banning girls from university, it is really a shocking and annoying news, not only for the Afghan women and girls, but for all Afghans, and I'm pretty sure for worldwide as well. But the situation, however, the Taliban, they are, before taking the power in Afghanistan, they will keep saying that they're going to allow women for education and work and saying some nice words. But now, unfortunately, the ground reality is totally different. By passing every day, they are posing new rule and regulation, and they have their own interpretation from Islamic values and also basics, which is very obvious and clear in Islamic lessons that the girls and women should be educated. It's a kind of obligation on them. But now the Taliban, as a de facto authority in Afghanistan or government, they're the only reason they're bringing for the people. They are saying that the situation or the environment is not perfect, and we are working to provide a kind of safe environment, and then we will allow the women and girls for education. But that's the reason, and that thing is not. The people cannot buy this, and that's because it is totally how it is almost 2 years, near 2 years that they sweep to power, and they keep saying that the situation and the environment is not till now. So how the people gonna believe on them? So that is really, in conclusion, I can say the news really shocked the people, not the Afghan women, but all the Afghans, and even the interesting point is even their own members, the Taliban high-ranking officials, they keep saying and criticizing this decision. But now the question with everyone's mind is that who is taking this decision when the high-ranking officials, even the Taliban, they are condemning this decision.
A short while ago, it could have been about 3 months ago, the Taliban were in action once again as far as girls at university is concerned, and they restricted the type of courses girls could have taken at that time. I think it was teaching and possibly medicine, with the restriction that the girls, once they qualify, would only be able to attend to female patients. Did you at that point think that matters might get much worse and that girls would be totally barred from university education altogether?
Now when they bypassing every day, when they are imposing new rule and regulation from the day first, when they ban on secondary schools. So from that day, because I have keep in touch with my people, and on daily basis we are getting news and we are keeping in touch with the people. So specifically the women and the girls, they were worried about the consequences, because after a few months they banned the female presenters in the TV stations, and they told them that they should cover their faces. And after that, after a few months, they again imposing another rule and regulation. And now, even when we are talking about this recent ban and announcement, so some of the Afghan women, they are keep saying that at the last stage they will just simply ban all women to be stayed in the home, and no, I mean we gonna not allow you in any kind of social activity. So that would be the end result, and that is the concerning point for the Afghan girls and women, because they are keep bypassing every day. They are introducing new rule and regulation, and now bypassing 1.5 year and more than that. So the things is going not towards better, but it's I mean the recent announcement is best example.
I'm wondering about the Western United States in particular, and the United Nations and other Western powers. When the Taliban came into power, the West, very especially the United States, froze all the Afghanistani assets, the gold reserves and the dollars that were in safekeeping in the United States. And they said they'd only release that money. The money belongs to the Afghanistani people and not to the Taliban. And they are holding on to those reserves. They're not releasing their money. Do you think that this is some sort of a retaliation on the part of the Taliban? They had at that point promised Western countries and Western governments that they will not ban education for women. And that's exactly what they've gone on to do. But I'm just wondering, how else can they rethink the status quo and allow women and girls to go to school and to go to universities, because they can play a very, very dominant role in the upliftment of the economy of Afghanistan.
You're quite right. I mean, the problem is the international community, and specifically the United States leading from the front. They'll keep saying that we gonna put pressure on the Taliban government to give their basic rights for their own people. But the problem is, on weekly basis there are still, I mean, many packages coming to Afghanistan to kind of supporting. I mean, that is if the de facto authorities, they are thinking that still with kind of banning secondary educations or schools, and then banning of universities, and after all of this back and forth, still the money is coming, and the international community is just saying that we gonna put pressure on Taliban, but in real, it means that in words they are just tweeting and saying, but in the ground, so they are keep receiving the money from the international community. And now, honestly speaking, the Afghan people, they are, I mean, that was they already request from the international community to kind of put concrete pressure on these authorities to. But now it seems that international community just condemning and saying in a words that it all, I mean, concludes in just condemnation, nothing than others. Because and in that way, if it proceeds like this, that international community just condemn and nothing in action. I mean, when I'm saying in action, so actually I'm referring to the many packages which is coming on weekly basis to Afghanistan and other humanitarian assistance. Obviously, the people are receiving this, but still, I mean, it would be kind of a pressure point on Taliban to kind of, I mean, so that is all the things that the people are thinking, that the international community are also not taking this issue as much serious as it is, and they are just I mean condemning, and Taliban, they are imposing their rule and regulation by passing every day.
I can tell you that the United Nations have described this move as very troubling. They go on to say that it's clearly another broken promise from the Taliban. They also say that we've seen since the Taliban's takeover a lessening of space for women, not only in education but access to public areas as well. And that's something you've just alluded to a short while ago, suggesting that the Taliban want to ban women in their homes. They don't want to see eventually women in public spaces. That's going to really have a very, very huge impact on the country and the psyche of Afghanistani women.
Yeah, I mean, look, the problem is when we are saying putting pressure on Taliban to giving the basic rights for the people, in the first step, when the previous government collapsed and the Taliban took control of Afghanistan, fully control of Afghanistan, the way the international community withdraw from Afghanistan, that way was not a kind of a responsible withdrawal. That was a big mistake. And then on that time, the Afghan people believed that was totally kind of abandoning the
Mm,
Afghanistan. And now, when I mean these de facto authorities, they have their own rule and regulation. And as per my understanding and information, so some of the hardliners amongst these groups will never and ever, they will obviously insist on their. I mean that there is a decision also coming from their hardliners, and it seems that the hardliners are winning, and they're gonna not, take it international community and the people as well seriously.
we're going to watch this rather carefully. We do hope and pray that common sense prevails and that women are allowed to continue their education because they are actually the key to the upliftment of the whole of Afghanistan. Once they qualify and get back into the workplace, the economy can start growing and poverty, the large scale poverty we're seeing in Afghanistan, can slowly but surely start being eradicated. And Afghanistan won't be in a position where they're going to have to hold out the begging bowl to foreign governments and Western countries. So let's hope and pray that a lot of thought goes into this and that common sense does prevail. Hadiz Pardes, journalist based in Afghanistan, thank you indeed for your time and your insights on the show this morning. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you very much.
It's exactly 9:59 a.m. We're going to be joined in a minute or two by media liaison Gauteng Department of Health, Pilani Mhlungu. This has to do with the sabotage and theft happening at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital.